The knock came at 11:47 p.m. Not a polite knock. Not the kind of knock from a neighbor needing a favor. It was desperate. 3 quick bangs, a pause, then 2 more. I froze halfway through washing a coffee mug and stared toward the front door. Outside, rain hammered against the windows. Wind rattled the old oak tree beside the porch, making its branches scrape against the siding like fingernails. Nobody came out here this late. Nobody. My farmhouse sat nearly 10 miles outside town, surrounded by fields and empty roads. If someone showed up at my door after dark, it usually meant trouble. The knock came again. Louder this time. I set the mug down and reached for the flashlight I kept near the sink. Every instinct told me to ignore it. Something about those knocks felt different. There was fear in them. The kind of fear you couldn't fake. I walked to the door and looked through the peephole. A woman stood on my porch. She couldn't have been older than 30. Her dark hair was soaked from the rain. She hugged her arms tightly around herself and kept glancing over her shoulder toward the road, as if she expected someone to appear from the darkness. For a moment, I considered calling the sheriff. Instead, I opened the door 2 inches. "Can I help you?" The woman jumped slightly. Then relief washed across her face. "Please," she said. "I know this sounds crazy, but my car broke down a few miles back." Her voice trembled. "I've been walking for over an hour." I studied her carefully. Mud covered her shoes. Rainwater dripped from her jacket. She looked exhausted. Still, something felt off. Not dangerous. Just strange. "Do you need me to call someone?" She hesitated, then shook her head. "No." That answer immediately raised alarms. Most stranded people wanted a tow truck, a friend, somebody. She wanted nobody. "Then what exactly do you need?" The woman looked down. When she spoke again, her voice barely rose above a whisper. "I just need somewhere safe for tonight." The wind howled across the pour. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. I should have said no. Any sensible person would have. But I couldn't stop staring at her eyes. They weren't the eyes of a scammer. They were the eyes of someone running from something. Or someone. Finally, I sighed. "One night." Her head snapped up. "What?" "You can stay 1 night. Tomorrow morning we'll figure things out." For the first time, she smiled, a small smile. The kind that carried equal parts gratitude and disbelief. "Thank you." I stepped aside. She entered carefully, almost like she was afraid I'd changed my mind. The warmth of the house seemed to hit her instantly. Her shoulders relaxed. Her hands stopped shaking. I handed her a towel. "Bathroom's down the hall." She accepted it with both hands. "Thank you." She said those words again and again, as though nobody had helped her in a very long time. Her name was Emma. At least that's what she told me. We sat at the kitchen table while she drank hot coffee and stared into the steam rising from the mug. I learned very little. Only that she was traveling. Only that she came from another state. Only that she didn't want to talk about why she was here. Every answer stopped just short of being useful. Yet somehow, she didn't seem dishonest. More like someone protecting a wound. Eventually, I showed her the guest room. It wasn't much. Just a bed and a dresser. But she looked at it like I'd handed her a mansion. "Good night," I said. "Good night." I started walking away. Then she spoke again. "Why did you help me?" I turned around. "What do you mean?" "Most people wouldn't." I thought about that. Honestly, she was probably right. Most people wouldn't. I guess I remembered what it feels like to need help. Her eyes softened. Then she nodded slowly, as though she understood more than I realized. I went to bed, but sleep never came. Something about Emma stayed in my thoughts. Maybe it was the sadness she carried. Maybe it was the mystery. Or maybe it was because I hadn't seen another human being regularly in almost 2 years. After my wife died, solitude became easier than company. The farm gave me work. The silence gave me peace. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. Around 2 in the morning, I heard movement. I got up immediately. The floor creaked beneath my feet as I moved toward the hallway. A faint light glowed from the kitchen. Emma sat alone at the table, crying. Not loud sobs, just silent tears rolling down her cheeks. She didn't notice me. For a moment, I considered walking away. Then the chair across from her scraped softly as I sat down. She quickly wiped her face. Sorry. You don't have to apologize. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, she laughed bitterly. Bunny? What is? I spent months trying not to cry. She stared at the table. Then a